So today we're talking about narcissistic mothers and their enmeshed relationships with their adult sons. Enmeshment is a very common issue in narcissistic families. The definition of an enmeshed relationship is a dysfunctional state where two or more people have a relationship without any distinguishable boundaries. And narcissistic mothers are notorious for having enmeshed relationships with their sons. The enmeshment also typically starts happening very early in the boy's life. This mother relies on her son to make her life meaningful. She fosters a relationship of mutual dependency between the two of them. This boy realizes very early in life that his mother's love is conditional. She doesn't love him for him, she loves him for what he can do for her. The son's value depends on the extent to which he caters to his mother and her ideals and ego. Basically, the son's primary reason for existing is to supply this mother with the narcissistic supply that she requires. This boy never really develops an independent sense of self. His identity becomes completely enmeshed and indistinguishable from his mother's. Essentially, as the boy develops and matures, his sense of self is submerged and suffocated, and his identity becomes completely intertwined with his mother's. Her life, her wishes, her desires. The mother uses her son as a surrogate spouse. The relationship and its complete lack of having any healthy boundaries becomes emotionally incestuous, meaning the mother is sharing information that she should not be sharing with her child. She starts depending on her son to meet her emotional needs that her husband or partner should be meeting. So, for example, she may start using her son as a confidant, and this boy becomes his mother's surrogate companion. Another factor here is this mother is adoring of this boy and at the same time extremely controlling over him. As he gets older, it's not uncommon for this mother to rely on him as she would a spouse, needing him to make her decisions or manage her affairs. The reality is this mother doesn't want her son to ever leave the nest completely. She wants him at home with her and for them to be dependent on each other. The relationship between the narcissistic mother and her enmeshed narcissistic son is parasitical. She feeds off her son. She grooms her son to believe that his purpose in life is to exist for her, to be the never-ending narcissistic supply that she requires, and to put her needs, her wishes, her desires ahead of everyone else's, especially this son's partner. So for those of you unfortunate enough to be in an adult romantic relationship with this mother's son, what does that mean? Where does that leave you? I'll tell you where that leaves you. That leaves you in a no-win situation. First of all, because this man has been groomed at such a young age to be his mother's everything. The chances that they will ever leave their enmeshed relationship with their mother for a healthy relationship with you is slim to none. It's just not going to happen. This is ingrained into this man's psyche in ways that he probably will never understand. On top of that, typically this son will have deeply repressed and subconscious feelings of hatred and disdain for his mother that he has never been able to even acknowledge or admit. That isn't permitted in these families. So what ends up happening is the other woman in his life will be at the receiving end of this hatred and resentment. And if you are the partner or love interest of this man, that means you. Not to mention, the man's mother will be deeply envious and jealous of you, and no one will be more attuned to her feelings than her son. So if you are going to be the wife or the partner of this person, you likely will be indefinitely compared to his perfect mother, of course, never measuring up. You will be at the receiving end of his repressed hatred and resentment that he feels for his mother, but has never been able to consciously acknowledge. For all intents and purposes, his mother, this mother, and her son will be living as husband and wife. And the reality is, until his mother dies, there isn't any real chance this is ever going to get any better. And unfortunately, many times, even after the mother passes away, nothing changes. He will continue to be consumed with his mother's wishes and desires for his life, even after death. So if you have found yourself in this situation, you need to have a very, very, very serious conversation with yourself. Are you willing to share your husband or partner with his mother indefinitely? Are you willing to play second fiddle to her? And are you willing to always come in last?